Right?
Yeah, it is. Can you just go to the slide share mode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Saurav. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Saurav. Good afternoon, everyone. So we are Team Eco Dabba and we aim to bring sustainability in the world one meal at a time. You might be curious that what is Eco Dabba? Eco Dabba stands for eco-friendly container as Dabba stands for container in our native language. Now, let's deep dive into understanding what Eco Dabba actually is. EcoDabba is a sustainable food packaging solution with circular economy at its core. We start off by agricultural waste and process it to produce bagasse containers and bio-PPS, which can eventually form EcoDabba. After the use, EcoDabba can be disposed of in the landfill where they can be biodegraded or can be used for home compost when they turn into the nutrient-rich soil, which can help us to complete the circular economic cycle. Now, let us understand that what is the need of EcoDabba in the society. There are two underlying problems which motivated us to create EcoDabba. The first problem is the increasing amount of plastics in the world. Right now, 78 million tons of plastic packaging is produced annually. Out of that, only 14% is recyclable. However, only a small portion of that 14% is further recycled due to the processing plant as well as the financial constraints. On the other hand, if we talk about the organic waste production, in Australia, the sugar industry alone creates 140 kilograms of sugar residue for every ton of sugarcane processed. Moreover, this organic waste is buried in the landfill, resulting in the release of methane, a 20 times more potent gas than carbon dioxide. Now, we'll talk about how does our product differentiates with the competitor in the market. So our product has high biodegradability as well as high efficacy, due to which it is a right choice to replace plastics in the market. As you can see in the table in the next slide, the other sustainable alternatives in the market lag behind due to various factors, and the one sustainable alternative which can be used for the solution might be bagasse, but it has various pain points like lack of rigidity, like low water and oil resistance, and also low heat resistance. So we thought that we can use our eco-friendly coating and coat it in bagasse containers and form EcoDabba, which is very good in biodegradability, carbon footprint, rigidity, water oil resistance, as well as other factors. Now, Saurav will talk about the minimum valuable product which we have created in India and take this conversation forward.
Thanks, Bindu. So over here we have one MVP of EcoDabba, which we have been able to create in India. So on the inside, if you see, it's glossy and covered with the specialized bio-PBS coating using our customized coating technique. So this makes this product, this bagasse container, sturdy, leak-proof, and optimum for carrying food during home delivery and takeaway services. Now, talking about the strategy, Nikita will follow.
Hi everyone. As Saurav has already shown you our MVP product, now we'll talk about how are we planning to circulate these containers into the market. And to do that, we have got an implementation strategy. Our implementation strategy is divided into two phases. Phase one is business case proposal, where we'll be executing two plans. One is proof of concept, another one is the pilot project plan. And all the key learnings drawn from the phase one, we'll be implementing those into our the next phase, which is the commercialization plan, where we are planning to scale globally. So now let's deep dive into our business case proposal and try to understand the vision of the company. So, EcoDabba's vision is to make a transition from a linear economy to circular economy in the world by replacing the non-recyclable plastic waste generated in food packaging industry with are sugarcane waste upcycled containers at EcoDabba. Now, let's understand how these containers are the best fit in food packaging industry through our proposed solution. So in our solution, what we are doing is we are taking a bagasse container and solving the problem that it is facing to in being used as a perfect container into the food packaging industry. The major problems here are it has low water and oil resistance, low sturdiness, and the leakages. And to solve that, we are using a very powerful and 100% biodegradable non-toxic coating known as BioPBS, using our customized coating technique and making our final product ready at EcoDappa. Let's try to understand the value proposition that we are having after doing this. Our containers are highly inert from water and oil. It's leak proof, it's microwavable, it's freezer safe, and it's 100% biodegradable. And the best part, we can definitely say it's highly scalable given its low cost. Now, as we have our product ready, we really analyzed multiple pathways and did the deep analysis of three options here to take the product into the market. Our option one is collaborating with the research labs and the parks. What we are trying to do in our option one is we are taking the bagasse manufactured containers as well as the coating material and getting the coating done over these containers into a few research labs to get our final product ready. The best part of option one is this is the least possible cost effective solution where where we'll be incurring the least cost. Talking about the option 2, we are planning to set a small scale bio-PBS coating facility in-house. So we are replacing research labs here with our in-house facility. So we will be again outsourcing the bagasse manufactured containers and the bio coating. And here we will be coating these containers by ourselves to deliver the end product. The benefit of using this option is we'll be able to reduce the production cost per container in option 2. Now, finally, talking about our option 3, which is setting the manufacturing facilities by ourselves. Here, we are also planning to replace the bagasse manufactured containers outsourcing. And we are planning to directly take the bagasse as a raw material and make our own containers as well as do our own coating and deliver the final product in the market. The beauty of this solution is we'd be able to reduce all the possible or majority of possible bottlenecks in our supply chain here, although it might require a few capital costs, which I think we'll be able to incur if we go about this solution. And thirdly, after analyzing all the financials and the product timeline constraint, we have tried our best to benefit all our stakeholder by choosing the best fit of solution. Now let's try about talk about our next plan, which is proof of concept under phase 1. Here we are well funded by the Queensland government under the IIF funds and for the strategy of developing advanced Queensland. Let's talk what we are planning to do here. Into next slide, as you can see that our proof of concept has got the major aim of developing our technology by getting the valuable feedback from the customers and implementing those improvements into the pilot phase. And for to implement and to go with the proof of concept, we will be using option 1 here as our implementation strategy, where we'll be outsourcing the bagasse containers and the coating and getting it done into the research labs and delivering the best containers into the market. The reason to choose option 1 here is because of the given financial and product timeline guidelines by as discussed with our investors. And also, as we can see the benefits of POC, proof of concept plan, we'd be able to deliver the product as a prototype. We'll be able to attend required patent and design IP rights with the proper certification standards needed. And after doing all this, we'd be able to get the manufacturing standards developed for the pilot phase. So let's try and look the timeline of the proof of concept that we are planning and what are we planning to do in here. So in the first 4 months, we are planning to collaborate with the research labs and filing design and IP rights. Next 4 months are definitely dedicated to certification get done. And last 4 months are dedicated to distribute our containers or our products into the market. And here our customers are going to be Queensland government's affiliated hospitals and the schools. Now, talking about the value that we are adding to Queensland government here is Queensland government would be able to reach its goals of achieving zero waste economy in the country, as well as given that we would be helping Queensland government in the upcycling of the bagasse or say sugarcane waste, given the Queensland is the highest producer of sugarcane in Australia. So, as you can see in the next slide, we are planning to produce 25,000 containers into this space, given that the cost of making these containers is 85 cents per container. And to further improve these numbers and go forward, we'll be moving forward with our pilot plan, and Saurabh will talk about that.
Thanks, Nikita. So now that we have got the insights from the proof of concept phase, let's move into the next one, which is the pilot project. So over here, we shall be going with the next option, which is to manufacture our to get the containers from the manufacturer and coat it in-house in our coating plant and form the eco dabba. And this is very important, as now we'll have higher output than in the lab scale. Our production cost will go down, and also the capital expenditure or the project cost is within the limits of the RMF grant and the Shell Equity Ventures capital combined. So for selling these eco dabbas, we have considered the following sales channel. And in this priority order particularly, first are the food delivery apps, because they have got an existing supply chain, and also they have collaborated with majority of the restaurants in Australia. We'll contact Uber Eats first, the market leader, followed by Menulog and Deliveroo. We have also considered the fast food chains such as McDonald's, KFC, Subway, etc. Their huge sales are a positive point for us. Also, currently, they are getting a lot of backlash due to the fact that their packaging forms the majority of the litter. So switching to EcoDabba will help them display their eco-conscious steps. The last option would be to set up a sole distribution channel to supply and cater to the independent restaurants and cafe. However, we acknowledge the additional costs and time for this, and therefore is down our priority list. Moving on, let's talk about the timeline. So the pilot timeline in total is 24 months. If in the first 6 months, we would be setting the coating facility and parallelly setting the supply chain. And the next 18 months, we would be doing the sales part and using the user feedback to reiterate our design and material research. Also in the during this time, we would be signing up with 125 restaurants on Uber Eats and would be selling expected more than 5 million eco dabbas over Queensland. So let's talk about the purpose of the pilot project. So as Nikita indicated, we'll be getting these feedbacks and parameters from the proof of concept. The pilot project translates them into very important information for the next phase, which is the commercialization phase. Over here, we'd get more information, real-time information about the market trends, the user adoption rates. Also, you'll be able to mitigate certain manufacturing risk going into the commercialization phase. Also, we'll get investment credibility to raise capital for the commercialization phase. Over here, we have drawn the financials and tried to highlight majority of the cost. And within the grant money of RMF and equity, we have shown how the profit margin is 6.06%. So pilot project in itself is profitable and is a valuable proposition to the investors. Moving forward to the commercialization phase, Bindu will lead on.
Thank you so much, Saurav. Now let's talk about the commercialization plan, as Nikita and Saurav talked about the POC and the pilot. Now, if we talk about the commercialization plan, as you can see here, the pilot phase and the POC phase will last for 36 months, and we'll get important user feedback and various other inputs from the pilot phase, which will be essential for the commercialization plan. In the commercialization plan, we basically want to tap the Australian market first in the first 2 years. And the major difference between the pilot and the commercialization plan is that we are also targeting B2C customer segment in the commercialization plan, which was not tapped in the pilot plan. Moreover, we are also trying to expand our product lines. Initially, we will only be looking into the food packaging industry, but in the commercialization plan, we will expand to the cutlery as well as the beverage packaging industry as well. Now, let's talk about the 3 horizon plan we have in mind for the commercialization. In the horizon 1, we talk about the pilot in Queensland. In horizon 2, We talk about the expansion in Australia, which will take us about 2 years. And finally, we talk about the expansion in the global market starting from India. Now, let us talk about the Horizon 1, which is the pilot phase in Queensland. Though we are targeting a very small customer segment in this phase, it is very, very important for us because it has larger focus in developing the core value proposition of EcoDappa. Now let's talk about Horizon 2, which is the Australian market. If we talk about the Australian market itself, the total available market in Australia for the food packaging and delivery industry is around 2 billion. And we plan to tap around 20 million of that entire market in our commercialization plan, given the constraints. Lastly, let us talk about the expansion in the global market. As you can see here, the global market of food packaging industry is huge with a value of $74 billion. And we mainly plan to go into the Indian market first because of the following reasons. First, India is also one of the largest producer of sugar, which will be very important for our business as a raw material. Secondly, India also has one of the highest consumption rate of plastics, which can help us to mitigate that problem there. And lastly, we are natives of India, so we have the intrinsic expertise which can help us in our operations. Now, let us talk about the main go-to-market strategy and the key considerations here. We divide the go-to-market strategy into 3 particular criteria, which is the pre-entry considerations, where we talk about things like the market analysis in detail, the at-entry considerations, where we talk about the financial analysis and the sustainability of our business, and the post-entry considerations, where we talk about the sustenance of profits, as well as the risk assessment and mitigation. Now, Saurav will talk about the investment plan and the risk and mitigation strategies for the commercialization plan in detail.
Thanks, Bindu. So now that we have seen the social impact of our project, of our commercialization plan, let's see how profitable the business is. So over here, we are talking about the cost and the investment which will be required to set up the full-scale processing plant as discussed in option 3. So over here, you see the earnings rise year over year. Also, the profits rise. Over here in the cash flow, you can see that in the first year itself, the investing cash flow is in terms of the capital expenditure, which goes into making the factory setup for the whole plant. Also, the financing cash flow is in terms of equity, which goes in the first year. However, in the subsequent years, you see an operating cash flow, which indicates that the cost initially would be sharp and quick. Let's talk about the project cost, which we have over here. So the project cost is $1.98 million, which seems a lot and is an added benefit after we set up, because this will be a barrier to entry to our competitors. The NPV, or the net present value, tells us how profitable the business is. In case if it's greater than 0, it's generally assumed to be profitable. And here we are largely profitable by a margin of $1.35 million. The ROIC, or the return on invested capital, tells how well the company is using its money to generate returns. Over here is 23.95%. And in case the general margin is 2% more than weighted average of capital, our weighted average of capital is 12%. So if it's twice that, so it shows how profitable we are. The payback period is 3.7 years, which shows that in 3.7 years, we would be paying back our initial investment. And this shows how quick we are in returning. Over here, we have mentioned the expenses and the cash flows. And the one thing to analyze over here is how the net earnings per revenue is growing year over year. For the sake of time, I will move forward to the next phase, which is the risk and mitigation. So over here, we'll be showing what all risk we have considered. And in this risk matrix, we have plotted it against the likelihood or the probability of it happening and the severity or the impact it shall have. We are so in this chart, you can see the technological risk is an outlier due to a high likelihood and severity. Let me explain how and what we're considering. Yeah. So in technological risk, it considers in all POC, pilot and commercialization phase. And over there, we are in POC and pilot, we are looking into what goes into whether we'll be able to prototype or not. But because we already have a prototype in India, it shouldn't be a problem. The technological risk considers the manufacturing risk. And over here, we have a very strong quality management framework which will help us mitigate that risk too, and is outlined in the report. So this is our team, and thank you. Now we're open to take your question and answers.